The first realm of Shadowlands Alpha is up and playable, while Blizzard finally caves in and drastically improves horrific visions and farming for them. All for the better, as the WoW team is expanding with a whopping 20 positions being opened.
Hello there, we are Marcelian&Line and we do class guides and WoW news on a weekly basis, and if you're into that, be sure to drop us a like and maybe throw a comment.
Yeah man, it really helps out massively. And now, on with the show. Shadowlands, the expansion you want to wash away the bad taste BFA left. A fresh beginning, an unpruning, a new chapter, a new goddamn hope, Mr. Skywalker. I mean, it isn't really a big surprise that Shadowlands is so under the microscope by the community. I think stronger than any other expansion ever. And yes, the stakes are quite high, so everybody and their mom got the itch once we got the first Shadowlands Alpha build getting supported by the Battle.net app. Then we got another build, and that, my friend, means that they are moving content for the builds. Yes, Shadowlands Alpha is playable as we speak, rightfully pointed by Martin from WoW Tools, because the latest update clearly shows a playable realm, and the only ones who likely play it at home right now are Blizzard employees who have a key for it. This makes sense, as prior to making the first waves of invites to select content creators and players, wink, wink, the Friends and Family Alpha rolls out to, well, friends and family of the WoW dev team. This is usually a preface to make sure that everything available to test is there, and shortly after, more folks outside of Blizz will get the invites. I bet you can feel the excitement too when talking of this imminent Shadowlands Alpha unravel, and to be fair, we both feel the same way. We do have to take note, however, that this will be an alpha, not a beta, which means that the content available for testing there will be very limited, and you'd be right to place your bets on probably the new leveling system and maybe some unpruned abilities here and there for classes. The big features, such as the Covenant system, complete class abilities, new dungeons, leveling quests, and so on, those will be there only for the beta, so please don't have high expectations just yet, at least not for the alpha. Talking about expectations, I think it's only fair for both me and you to test the endgame aspects much earlier on in order to make it work, and yes, I'm mostly talking about the feature that the WoW dev team placed all their bets on, the Covenant system. They said this, Covenants will be the biggest thing about Shadowlands, and they will tie in directly with your class. So, unlike the biggest thing in BFA, as the red gear, testing for this shit should be made available quite early and not 1 to 2 weeks prior to the launch. Remember that BFA only had max character templates for the Gladiator Sanctum server, which was PvP strictly, and no one really got to test out the system in all aspects of the game, let alone how the system will progress and have you obtain it. Fucking yuck. Remember our first weeks of Azerite gear? That time when you got a higher item level piece, but couldn't use the traits because of the goddamn necklace level. Anyway, focusing on the good things here, apart from the alt-on friendly list of 8.3, Blizz really has shown that they are listening to the community, and this should at least shed a bit of hope when discussing the Shadowlands Alpha and Beta feedback. I mean, the fact that Blizz employees are playing it right now is only to be sure that everything being put into the build for testing is available and nothing glitches out too much, so that the first feedback can be properly addressed. This on top of the fact that they are hiring a lot of people for the WoW team, and from my knowledge, the current team didn't lose too many folks. And this means they just want to expand, doing a massive hire with 20 positions open, and most of them are in the engineering department of the game. This means systems, UI, gameplay, engine tools, basically all the things you need to implement changes and feedback as efficiently as possible, and this to the core elements that make or break the game. Don't know about you, but this is a positive vibe we're getting here, so as hard as it may be nowadays, keep some high hopes, as you and me both want this game to be good, don't you? Let me know in the comments what would determine you to play in Shadowlands.
Horrific visions have been buffed. Alright, patch 8.3 came with its issues. The corruption system is, well, on the receiving end of some mixed criticism, and I cannot really blame you for that. But with all of this shit, good and bad, I think we can honestly agree Horrific Visions are one of the best features added to BFA since the expansion started. I mean, I won't go into what they are. I assume people already know this, have already tried at least a few, so yeah, you all know what I'm talking about here. They are so fun that even after all this time, Blizzard has made them even more accessible through the nerfing of the Coalescing Visions currency obtaining methods. First of all, dailies will award even more visions as a reward. This whole patch started out with the fear of this being a grind fest and us having to do dailies on top of dailies on top of all the other stuff we need to grind and farm in BFA. Initially, dailies gave almost no visions to be worth it. What was it? 25 or 50 visions initially when you need 10k for a vessel? Huh. Well, now you get 325 or so coalescing visions, which, as you can tell, is a big difference. Now, dailies are a bit more impactful. They aren't necessary to do to get your proper cloak upgrades, but they do come in handy once you want to do a lot more of them for fun or mementos to actually start getting some damn sockets, man. Plus, you will be farming the rep anyway for various reasons. One of the biggest one being the Breath of the Dying Essence rank 3, which, even though just had its major effect nerfed, is still one of the best miners in the game. Not only that, but all of the other sources of coalescing visions have been addressed as well. The daily visions will now reward 30% more, which is great. I mean, there's nothing much to do in them except farm some very mediocre amounts of mementos, and these might have seemed the only real mandatory dailies to do. They are actually simple now that we have some decent gear to purge them in just a few minutes. On top of this, the Assault Knack gives 2.5k visions from 0, and the lesser N'Zoth threats will give 6.5k up from 5.5k. So if ever you thought it would be a good time to start doing these dailies and weeklies, now it would be the time. A couple of cloak ranks have also been addressed. Just recently, Marcelian and I had to get ours to rank 11, I think, and that took about 4 total full cleared visions to gather all of those damn pages. Later ranks like 13, 14, and 15 required 6, 12, and goddamn 18 pages. Now that's a lot of pages. These have been adjusted to require 4, 6, and 8. The thing is, getting the cloak quicker doesn't really impact the progress all that much. The raid seems to be easier than most previous tiers, mostly due to corruption effects and how they are melting shit. But either way, the impact the cloak upgrades will have won't ruin the progression by giving us too much power, since a good amount of mythic guilds have reached N'Zoth for quite some time now. And, you know, we also got our heroic guild, since we're a heroic guild, just yesterday, so we don't really need the cloak upgrades for anything. This, on top of the cap removal from carrying too many vessels, made alts easier to catch up on the cloak upgrades and really incentivized people to do more horrific visions. And who wouldn't? Right now, we are having major fun with running them, and to be fair, they are the most fun activity personally for me. With the advent of Shadowlands and the Torghast Tower, visions are sitting here with the potential to change a major expansion feature. The devs mentioned this at BlizzCon 2019. They are looking at how these will perform and be received by the players. Now, here's a little side piece of mine, and you can take this with a grain of salt. I think they actually started to really fine-tune Torghast right about now. Why else and why now would they make the horrific visions more and more accessible? You could argue that it's for the players, for them to not have to grind as much to do them, to make alts more playable. But I don't see any account-wide essences being implemented, so I'm a bit skeptical on that front. I actually think they need a bit more player data to maybe start working or actually finalizing the mechanics of the endless challenge type tower that is Torghast, my personal favorite from the new expansion, at least as far as hype goes. I was hyped for Warfronts too. Ended up disappointed. Guess I know how my dad feels now.
And in today's comment of the day, we have Chad NTM, and he said,
good point. Blizz will not give 2 fucks though.
Come on, Blizz. Can you at least give 1 fuck for the current issues?
Here's 1 fuck. And here's the second fuck. Now I'm gonna keep this for Diablo Immortal. Come on, man, don't you at least have a phone? Shadowlands, or better yet, Thorghast. We didn't touch about this aspect of the game. You know, I talked about the Covenant, but Thorghast, man.
Yeah, I did talk about it in the horrific vision section, because they did mention that they want to use horrific visions as a starting point for Thorghast and to see how we receive the system, because it's not going to be Mage Towery. We already discussed that, so I'm actually kind of a little bit hyped. That's why I also thought that all of these changes in the last 2 weeks, with nerfing all of the requirements, getting more visions in. They just need more player data. That's what
and they basically nerfed the farming. that's one thing. It's still a little bit gated, but it's not as bad as it was. Yeah. And you can attribute this to a lot of factors or whatever, but I'm kind of with Flame on this one. I think, you know, the horrific visions are kind of the testing grounds for the Thorghast feature, which should be fine. You know, it's a great feature now. Add on that and expand on that idea and concept should be a very good thing. One other thing that we didn't talk about, granted this was a bit longer ago, like the class changes, nerfs and buffs that we had. Specifically, there was like the nerfs to the DK's Death Strike, which I don't know if that affects PvE that much, but that's PvP mostly, right?
On the PvE, it would only affect it in single target, on the solo content. I'm sorry, not single target. All right, but otherwise, it's still decent. It's sustained that you're taking off of healers, but in PvP, I think it's mostly aimed at that.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe it could be a bit too much. We all can agree that Death Strike was a little bit too good.
It needed a little bit of tweaking, but initially they nerfed it by 50%. And they reverted that nerf to a 25%, which is okay. That's a reasonable nerf, because okay, sure, balance specs, but don't hit it with a freaking hammer in the head, man.
Like they do, baby.
Just do it like they do with enhancement with 3% damage.
So all you enhancement players out there, did you rejoice for the 3%?
Oh my god,
buff to damage.
That looked like such a kick in the balls, man.
I mean, are they honestly trolling, or what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I mean, enhancement has a decent damage cap ceiling, but the problem with enhancement is not necessarily the damage output. I guess that would be in PvE.
I don't know.
But enhancement, even in PvE, is still one of the squishiest classes in the game.
I don't know what to say. But we got all of the Mage's Shield got also nerfed, so the absorbs are, you know, way lower right now, and that was a little bit of an issue in PvP at least. We got a little bit of buffs for Resto Druid. Tranquility was buffed from what I can remember, like the mana cost was reduced for Rejuve, I believe.
For Rejuve, Fluorescence, and Trank was buffed. The initial heal from Trank was buffed by 11%, which, I mean, you would, as a Resto Druid, you would normally pop Trank in arenas just to get the extra hot to play on the mastery.
I don't think that's for arenas, though.
Yeah, I don't think, no, it's definitely for the raid, but I'm also looking, I was looking at the arena side, because the problem with Resto Druid has been the entire expansion. It was probably the worst raid healer the entire expansion.
Really?
And and they couldn't really buff it because it was the dominant healer in Mythic Plus, so they couldn't find the niche and how to buff that without fucking up Mythic Plus even more, right? And it was also the dominant healer in arenas for what, 2 seasons now?
Hey man, you know some other dominating healers in arenas? Our Patreons, hello! Hey guys, we want to, Go ahead.
I want to say you're healing our hearts with your wallets. But
this is staying in the video.
Oh shit, no, you gotta cut this. All right.
So you are healing our wallets. What?
You guys are supporting us so much. We thank you so much for all the support. This is we're kind of getting out of the difficult time, but it's still a little bit tricky. So having you with us kind of gives us a little bit confidence going forward, and we can, you know, pump stuff, because we are doing this full time. We're kind of have to, you know.
Basically any Patreon support goes in directly into the quality of the videos, equipment, and all of that stuff, you know, paying the bills. So it's obviously hugely appreciated. That means basically that you guys want this shit to happen even more with better quality and stuff like that. So thank you once again for making this possible. And hey, if you ever thought about becoming a Patreon, there's all of the details in the description. We have different tiers over there. You can get some custom wallpapers made. Or hey, if you don't want to support us that way, you can always support us by buying some merch. We have new designs on the Teespring over there. You should totally check them out.
Pretty cool stuff.
And that being said,
well, thank you for watching the video, and enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye. I don't know what's this. What is this?
You are